Hi, and welcome to another episode of this podcast. What did I learn today? So, today, as I was going to this beautiful bookstore, I found a book. It's few pages, and it was an interesting title. Its title is How to Manage the Self by Peter Drucker. Peter Drucker is the founder of the godfather of management in the US, I believe, and his book The Effective Executive changed my life. But I was interested into reading this really tiny book, probably few pages, and I was just, well, let's take it and read it, right? So I started reading it, and it was like really fascinating. I never expected to know of the existence that someone actually talked about managing the self, because that means, like, is the self some sort of a project, or how do we see it? But it is really interesting. So I will just pick up one or two thoughts from the book, and one of them is, do you know how you learn? And this is really important, I believe. But let's get actually first to talking about strength and weaknesses. So he's very strong and bullish in terms of like using your strength and multiplying, leveraging your strength instead of trying to fix your weaknesses. And this is the same thing for organizations as well, which means, do your values and strength align and overlap with the organization need, or is it that you are using one of your weaknesses into that? And I have been thinking about this for a long time, and what I have found is that when the values doesn't get aligned, usually the person working for the organization gets kind of insatisfaction about the work, and the performance drops. Where if you have someone who has the same value as the company, and he grows within the company and he grows outside of the company, so it kind of keeps the engine of growth going on, then I find out that most, like, those people are morally satisfied with what they are doing. And so, yeah, leverage your strength is number one. And so I will get back to the learning part. So, do you know how you learn? Because basically, a lot of our time is about growth. If you don't learn a lot of things, then you probably will be behind, and you never know what can happen to the company and stuff. So knowing how you can learn, how you learn best, is very important to state. Knowing what you learn best, because it seems that most people, according to the book, people, even though they know how to learn or how they prefer to learn, they usually don't apply that knowledge into their daily lives. And I will share one thing that I have learned about myself just recently, especially that I started reviewing and learning again about different topics, including some technologies in the web. And I find out actually that I prefer to have a view first, a preview of what am I going to learn first. I can't really be focused if I don't have a full preview of the course, a full preview of the curriculum. Like when I get just pieces, small pieces of knowledge, I always feel really difficult for me to engage with the content. And I also share the same thing when it comes to reels. I really hate that bite-sized knowledge, especially if I'm going to have like multiple times or multiple different type of content. So anyway, make it short. The way I learn is like I like to preview the content first quickly, and then I start on the slow mode. If I can do the preview the night before, then when I wake up, I already have a lot of the concepts in the background of my subconsciousness, and so it allows me to have kind of a mental map, even if it's not that much of an information. It's kind of a first scan, rapid scan. My brain kind of does a rapid scan of the content. He catches whatever he can catch. It doesn't matter if he catch a lot, and this was like stressing me before. I was trying to learn quickly and process everything at once, and I know that there are some people who can do that, but to me, I like it this way. So I preview a full course first. I need to know what's in the curriculum, otherwise I cannot get engaged. After that, I can stay really focused on doing small sized learning. And so when I thought about the book he was talking about this, I really felt it, because the moment you know that this is how I learn, then you are usually optimal. You don't think of productivity. You are satisfied. You it's like it's a nice feeling. There is no resistance. But the moment someone tries to put you in a different system of learning, you will feel the resistance. And the resistance just doesn't really help. Like, maybe, yeah, you can work on your weaknesses, you can learn to do things in a different way. But after 10, 20, 30, 40 years of life, usually you know best how to learn. If you don't know best, at least I can try, for example, to learn new things and take notes. And this goes to the beginning of the book, where he will be talking about what he calls a feedback analysis. So this is like for the it's about strength, and this is like the part of the book, I think it's page 3. The only way to discover your strengths is through feedback analysis. Whenever you make a key decision or take a key action, write down what you expect will happen. 9 or 12 months later, compare the actual results with your expectations. I have been practicing this method for 15 to 20 years now, and every time I do it, I am surprised. So basically, the magic happened after a long time and incremental feedback analysis. And this is really important. Even for me, what I have started to implement is just taking notes of how I learn or how do I feel regarding a certain content. So usually, if it's not visual, then I need to turn it into a visual system. This might take more time. So if it's really important, then the investment of time on like me turning it into the visual system justifies the effort. But if it's not worth it, then I would just move to something else where I can visualize or try it. So it's few pages. I think that I will read it again, and I would really be happy if you have any feedback on what I have said, or like if you are thinking of buying the book or reading it. It's Peter Drucker, Managing Oneself. I think it's just an article that's also like been in the Harvard Business Review. So anyway, thank you for listening, and I will see you soon for another episode. Enjoy your day or evening. Take care.